who are, senior citizens, people's mothers and fathers, who are splitting their prescription or cutting pills in two so that they can divide it between 2 days so they can afford food. They're choosing between food and medicine. And this kid who I was talking to, who came up to me, said that one day a week, he has to choose between filling up his car or eating dinner that night. And Americans are making these impossible choices. I talked to a family living in an apartment that they can no longer afford, listening to their baby cry in their arms, and having to wonder whether that baby is $50 sick or $100 sick or $500 sick before they bring them to the hospital. One of the worst issues here is that we hit the highest poverty level in the history of our country, the biggest jump in poverty this year. What they're saying is prosperity. It is not looking like prosperity to America. And today, the average income for an American is $5,000 less than the cost of living. The cost of basic human needs, food, transportation, and housing. What that means is all of those people that the majority of Americans are now have a $5,000 deficit at the end of every year, no matter how frugally they live. And how are they paying for that? They're putting it on their credit cards. And Visa and MasterCard and Wells Fargo and Morgan and Chase are charging them 22% interest. If the mafia did that, it would be called loan sharking. They go to prison. If the credit card companies do it, it's just the cost of doing business. And who do you think owns every one of those companies and banks? State Street and Vanguard. Oh, here they are. They have this method of strip mining all the wealth across our country. And so now we are giving $113 billion to fight the war in the Ukraine, and President Biden this week is asking for $24 billion. Now, just to give you a comparison, the entire budget for EPA is $12 billion. So that's what we have for the environment in this country. We have $12 billion. We're spending 12 times that amount in Ukraine. The entire budget for CDC is $12 billion. So we're spending 12 times. That's what we have for public health. So we're spending 12 times that in Ukraine. The month we made that commitment was March 2022. That same month, we cut food stamps for 30 million Americans from $283 a month to $23 a month. We cut 23. Try to feed yourself on $23 a month. We cut Medicare for 15 million Americans that month. The same month, we bailed out the Silicon Valley Bank for twice what we're giving to Ukraine, $300 billion. So we have a lot of money for the bankers and for the military-industrial complex when they need it. But when Americans heard there's a report that came out recently that showed that there's 2 zip codes in Chicago where the quality of life is worse in the worst zip codes, the most war-torn areas, the worst sections, the most war-torn areas of Afghanistan. We have a crisis here in this country. Do we really have $140 billion to send on a war that should never happen? That was easily avoided. Mitch McConnell has answered that question. And in March, he was asked that question by the press. And his answer was, well, don't worry, because that money is not really going to Ukraine. That money is going to U.S. military contractors. Raytheon, General Dynamics, Boeing, and Lockheed. And so it's not really going over there. It's coming back here for U.S. corporations. So that's a good thing for our country. Who do you think owns every one of those companies? They have the whole thing rigged, and they're doing it right in front of us. And we're letting them get away with it. What other thing?
What do we do?
We're loaning this money to Ukraine. It's not a gift. It's a loan. What are the chances they ever pay it back? call it a loan because it gives us leverage to make certain demands of Ukraine. So the demands were that they implement these austerity programs that essentially impoverish everybody in the country, and they sell off the assets of the country to American companies, including their farmland. So they have to put their farmland on the global market. And 28% of it has already been purchased by foreign corporations. Who do you think owns almost all of those corporations? BlackRock. So they, you know, Ukraine has the richest farmland in the world. It is a breadbasket of Europe. There have been thousands of years of wars fought over control of that. My son fought for Ukraine. And since he fought there in the Kharkiv offensive, 400,000 kids have died in that country in a war that should never have happened. And those kids were dying to protect that farmland and from the Russians. But I don't think they were dying so that it could go to BlackRock. But that is the outcome. And you know, we're being streamlined. I was in the beautiful, beautiful town today of Rochester that is, you know, reinvigorating itself and experiencing this incredible renewal that gave me such inspiration that everything is salvageable.
Yeah.
You know, you see what's happening there, and you see the quality of life of people who are locally oriented, concentrated on democracy, on local growth, on rebuilding the middle class, and they're doing it in that town.